I think Menorca has some of the most beautiful beaches in the whole of Spain.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Naz.
And I'm Alba, and in this video we're gonna tell you everything you need to know about visiting Menorca. That's gonna include when to go, where to stay, what to do, what to eat, and everything else that you need to know for your next visit to this paradise.
If you're new to this channel, you will not know that we are Menorca connoisseurs. We know everything about Menorca because we go every single year. In fact, Alba has grown up going to Menorca, so we kind of know the island pretty well. We've also made so many videos about this beautiful island, which you can find in our channel, but this one in specific is gonna be exactly that, a full guide.
So let's get started with when to visit Menorca. The island is at its peak in July and August. These are the summer months in Spain, and the island is beautiful, but it does get a little bit too busy.
I would recommend to potentially explore the months of June and September in Menorca. If you go before June, let's say mid-May and before, or mid-October and after, it is not guaranteed that everything will be open.
The most beautiful part about Menorca is its beaches, its summer vibe. So if you go in the winter months, even though the island is still beautiful, you will not get to enjoy those blue waters and that hot weather.
And some of the restaurants will be closed naturally.
Yeah.
A lot of the locals just close up because there's not that many tourists in the island.
If you are into partying and you don't mind crowds, July and August is the best time to go because the clubs and the bars will not be very busy during the rest of the year. But if you want to enjoy good weather and beaches and you want to avoid the crowds, then
September and June?
Yeah, would be perfect for you.
How do you get to Menorca? Well, there's only really two options. The first one, which is what we always do, is to fly. Yes, shock. Not every airport will be connected to Menorca because it is quite small. You will most likely do a stopover in either Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah.
Either way, there's always a flying option.
Alternatively, you can take a boat from Barcelona, and this is a popular option for people who want to bring their cars with them to the island, or maybe they're bringing a pet like a dog. Go to Barcelona and then take the boat from there. The only thing is, it's a bit too long. Even though the island is not very far away, the boat is slow because it's very big.
That can be the whole night. In fact, some people do take the boat during the night and then buy a little shed inside of the boat where there's a bed.
Yeah, you can buy like a room if you want to sleep there. But yeah, it's like a long journey, whilst the flight is one. It's
45 minutes from Barcelona or Madrid, so yeah.
No comparison. Alright, so you know when you want to go to Menorca and how you're going to get there, but where should you stay in the island? This is usually one of our most asked questions whenever we make a video about Menorca. There's two main ways in which you can visit the island. One is if you rent a car, you can stay anywhere in the island, I think, because it's not very big and you can easily travel from one place to another. If alternatively you're not gonna rent a car, I would recommend to stay either in one of the two big cities or in a beach hub where you're not planning on leaving much because it just has so much to offer.
And what are these places? Well, the cities that Alba was referring to were Mahón and Ciudadela. Each one of them is at a specific point in the island in opposite sides, and the airport is closer to Mahón, so that's where most people end up staying. I think it's still the capital of Menorca as well, right?
Yeah.
And then the hubs, the beach hubs, the most famous one, I believe, is Cala Galdana.
Yeah.
Another one is Sombó, and we're putting the map right here so you can see where they are. Another one, perhaps, Playas de Fornells? No, Fornells?
Yeah, Fornells as well. If you guys are wanting to know a little bit more about Mahón and Ciudadela, which are the biggest two towns, and you don't know where to stay, we actually made a video about that. So go check that out and maybe it will help you decide. In terms of those beaches that Naz has mentioned, we are saying those are the best ones to stay at because you can find a resort in front of the beach and you can go to the beach so easily, and they are beautiful places, no?
And in the case of Cala Galdana, for example, this is what it looks like. And from this point, you can walk, like Alba was saying, to some of the most beautiful calas. They're it's a bit of a trek, but it's still a walking distance. So if you don't have a car, well, this is just perfect. And you get to access these crystal clear blue waters that you see in postcards from Menorca.
Yeah, the most famous photos are taken from there. So I actually think Cala Galdana is a great place to stay at if you want to see like the famous spots and you don't want to rent a car.
What are the top things to do in Menorca? Well, we made a whole video about this, the top 10 things to do, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been 15. But hey, in this video, we're also sharing some of the things that you should consider doing. One of the things you should do is definitely find yourself an amazing beach. Crystal clear blue water beach. For us, some of our favorites include Caballeria, Mijana, Mijaneta, Macarella, Macarelleta. These are the ones next to Cala Galdana.
And they're quite famous.
And then there's this one particular one near Binibeca, which is
so
incredible.
Pretty. This is more like a cala, not quite like a beach.
Yeah, and we have a whole video about this place and we went to visit it. We'll also leave the link in the description. But going to a Blue Waters beach, recommend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, but I think Menorca has some of the most beautiful beaches in the whole of Spain. So you can't miss that, obviously.
But what else? Well, Monte Toro, that's the highest point in the whole island. You can get there by car. You can see Mallorca from there, and it has some of the most beautiful sunsets you'll see.
I would add that to your list if you're going with a car. It's beautiful. And top tip, on your way to Monte Toro, stop over in the local town that's called
Es Mercadal.
Es Mercadal, and have a traditional
ensaimada.
I can't speak Spanish today.
What is happening here? Yeah, an ensaimada is like this cute images right here. It's delicious, and you can choose the type of feeling that it goes inside. Yeah. It's very sweet, but it's very...
And it's traditional nice from the islands.
But 3 more things that you consider doing. One of them, have a paella.
Oh.
This is Spain. It's summer Spain. Have a paella. Another thing, try to go to Cueva del Choroy.
Oh yeah, this is such a popular place, and honestly we have failed to get in the last 2 times that we've been there, but we went in August. If you go at another time of the year, it's definitely easier to get in. And this is a club that is literally excavated in a cave. It's like unreal. It has beautiful views and you can see the sunset from there. Highly recommend.
And the last thing, have the best ice cream in the whole of the island. It's in Sa Gelateria. I'm not gonna say why, you just go to this place, it's always packed anyways because everybody knows the best ice cream.
Yes.
And just treat yourself.
Yeah, you can find it in all of the biggest towns, so you can find it in Mount, Ciudadela, Fornells, and probably in other places as well. And it's just delicious. And lastly, you should definitely visit the 2 main towns, Mahon and Ciudadela, because they are beautiful, and going there in the evening while the sun is going down and then going out for dinner in one of the amazing restaurants, because there's so many amazing restaurants in those 2 towns. It's very nice, so highly recommend doing that.
How much will it cost you to visit Menorca? Take away the flights, that really depends on where you're coming from. You should account for at least 100 euros a night for your stay. This can vary a lot on a number of things. July and August will always be the most expensive months. So take into account that it'll be busier, therefore a bit more expensive. The second thing is a lot of people go for resorts. If you go for an all-inclusive resort, you know, you have your pool, you have your beach access, you have perhaps some of the food is included, that's going to be more expensive, naturally. But it can be a bit cheaper than 100 euros per night if you rent a villa with like some of your friends and it's a little bit outside of the city. That also becomes
It's very common to rent apartments or like houses in the island, so don't look at only hotels because that's also an option, and if you go in group it definitely might turn out more economical.
And then there's car rental.
Like we said, we recommend renting a car if you can, because it will allow you to travel and see so much of the island, but you need to account for that cost, right? So how much do you think that would be? I
reckon we've rented a car for as little as 50 euros per day. But I think it's quite challenging given the high demand. So I would count for roughly 70 to 80 euros per day. Yeah,
and if you go in August, probably 100 euros. You need to add the insurance and all of that. And then of course, whatever gas you're spending, but the island is small, so I don't think you'll be, you know, spending a lot of gas.
And then there's the food. If you're eating out pretty much every day, all the time, then count at least 40 euros per person per day.
There's some really fancy and nice restaurants in Menorca, and if you decide to go to some of those, of course, the price will be higher. But you can also eat locally really good quality food for like this price.
And then you just have to account for activities, right? Do you want to rent a boat one of the days? Do you want to, I don't know, do an excursion to see some of the old stuff around the island? It really depends on your specific lifestyle and preferences. expenses.
What are the things to avoid? Well, the first one is going to the island without a credit card and renting a car, because most of the car rental companies ask for a credit card deposit, and if you don't have that, they will give you shit, sorry, and you might have trouble like actually getting your car.
The second thing is, if you're going to any of the popular destinations in terms of beaches, make sure to get there before 10 a.m. or definitely not after 10:30 a.m. because the parking will be packed. You will not find a place to park, and the best beach area is going to be taken as well. You just want to make sure that you get a little bit of an obstructed view and a parking spot, so go early.
And thirdly, don't go around without cash, because in Menorca there is a lot of local business that don't actually take card. In the recent years that's changing, but still you never know what you're gonna come across it, so make sure you have euros in cash with you at all times.
That's gonna be everything for today's video. Hopefully this guide will have given you an insight of what it is like to travel to Menorca. We personally love it, and we know you will love it too.
Make sure to check out all of our other Menorca videos if you still want to learn more about the island. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe, because we are going to Menorca this summer again, obviously.
And we will be making more videos.
So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.